So just doing some general research right now. Please feel free to drop some questions if you have any, so I can kind of go through some questions and answer anything you guys have. Okay, so we got this from the bottom. Let's do the hourly. All right. Now the daily's probably better. On the daily, we got a little bit of a consolidation pattern right here. Pops up above it. So this looks like a little mini bull flag, and we're going to be keeping a close eye on what BABA does for the next couple of weeks. There's definitely what is it? There's not really any clear resistance on the daily, but if you look at the 15-minute, you can see kind of a W pattern. So like right here was a big W, right around here, popped up above it. So there's really no clear level of resistance that I can see off the top of my head. This might be a small little level, but yeah, nothing major. Then on the daily, it's all over the place. So, all right, guys, come on, someone ask me a question. So, have you looked at CNCE? All right, no, I haven't. Let's take a look at it. Concert Pharmaceuticals. They're okay. We got to go to the daily. So this looks like it's a new company, been around for a couple of years. The chart does not really look great. The RSI is right in the middle, but CNCE doesn't look like it's very great at the moment in terms of a possible squeeze or possible trade. There's nothing that says it's gonna pop off any moment. Ever since this drop down here, it's been kind of stuck. So what I would say is for CNCE, it looks like it's kind of stuck between this zone, between the 369 and 463. Not really sure what's going to happen next, but unless there's some news around this, I don't really see any potential. TRIT might be a long one to look at. All right, I think that's Triteris. Let's take a look. Is this another bio company? Let's take a look. Let's see. What do they do? FinTech company focused on trade and finance. Okay, so there is stuff that goes with it. Okay, so again, for this one, I could Tricteris, I see a good level of support right here. It does look like there is a resistance right here, so if it can break above that, or excuse me, if it can break above this, you might see a move up to $8, but it's not really anything significant. My top 5 long-term 1-year hold stocks at the moment is my first one is going to be Square. Let me delete these lines. So Square has bounced from the 40s up to the 200 range. I'm holding a couple hundred shares. I think they have solid potential, and I think Square is a good example of a company that's vertically integrating for more than just payment, crypto. They're even offering banking. They're trying to engage in something along the lines of providing payday loans, but at a much more transparent rate. But Square basically, I think, has huge support at the 190 and has struggled to break the 280 mark. So I think from right here, it's going to climb back up to 280. So this is one of my long-term holds. Like obviously is going to be Tesla and NIO. Tesla I'm not as big on anymore, but I do like NIO. You can see that it's making sort of a climb. I had this level, the 43, as a huge level of resistance. It burst above it. I'm thinking I'm going to watch it for NIO to hit back around the 64 to 65 line. That should be another big mark. I got in pretty early, and I'm holding a couple hundred, or I'm holding about 500 shares of NIO. Let's see. I also really like Apple at this point in the next year. Apple is kind of lagging compared to the other FANG companies. So, where Apple has not retouched all-time highs, it's still got about $7 to retouch all-time highs. It's right above it's right around this resistance mark. If it bursts above, if it can burst above this area and hold, I could see this gap being filled. So Apple's another big one. I think they're lagging. So far we got Square, Apple, and NIO. 2 other companies I'm also looking at for long-term holds. I don't know. I'm holding a good amount of airlines, but they're more of a swing trade. They're not necessarily a long-term hold for me. I'm holding, Delta, United, American Airlines. They're all quick swing. I'm trying to think. Oh, I have Baba and Baidu as 2 other big companies. Facebook. All right, let's take a look. I think Facebook is doing pretty well because they won that. They got that lawsuit thrown out. Let me delete all these previous lines I was charting out a couple months ago. Let's see. I think Facebook's on a monster tear, but I think it's kind of high to get in right now. There is really strong support at 245 on the daily. And then you have another level of pretty solid support right around here, 296. Yeah, I think Facebook's a pretty good company. Their revenue is insane. They're about to hit and join the $1 trillion club. But to me, I think I'd rather hold off until Facebook cools off a little bit before I make my entry. But I do. If you are planning to invest for the next 5 years, it's definitely a good plan to pick up some Facebook shares. All right. Anything else? Unimportant Jesus, man. I don't know about CNCE or Triteris. They're both kind of small capped and not really something I would want to get into at the moment. Good entry for Facebook. Let me see. Let me put on the 15-minute. Oops, it's the 5. Yeah, you see this right here is looks like a let's see. Looks like it's exactly a flag. I'm not sure I would jump in right away. For Facebook, ooh, are you looking to grab shares or an option? If you're looking to grab shares, there's definitely a good entry anytime, but you want to this support line right here. It looks like this is a pretty good support. QYLD. Oh, that's one of my favorites. I think I have like 1,000 QYLD shares. QYLD. So this is a very good dividend ETF. You don't want to ever really trade QYLD, but it's basically a fund or an ETF that makes income via covered calls. Their dividend, I believe, is like 12%. Let's take a look. Yeah, their dividend is 10%. It's going to be over $2.32 a year. That's pretty good when you're looking at an ETF. It doesn't necessarily really move. Since the beginning, QYLD has more or less traded around the same range, so it's a very safe income generating fund. And what I would do is I just rack up a couple shares of QYLD every paycheck. So right now, I believe I have like 1,000 QYLD shares. Another one I have is Psec. This is also another big dividend company, but they're not a fund. This is more of a very safe and not very cool dividend stock that pays you, I think, let's see, pays you about 8.2% at the moment per year, at 70 a year per share. It's at 839, so it's not that great, but it's still pretty solid. I got in though. I bought a ton of Psec shares when it was $6, so the amount of money I'm paying for the dividend is significantly less than someone that's trying to buy it now. What I tell a lot of people is when you're looking at dividend stocks, try to look at it not from the dividend percentage, but the cost of the dividend. So say 5 shares or $5 returns me $1. Well, the stock has now jumped up to $10 and I'm still getting that dollar payment, right? So in a sense, that's still a 20% dividend to me, even if the stock price has increased. So I like to make that note of what my actual cost basis was, because that's how much I'm actually paying for the dividend. UWMC. Does that pay a dividend? Still? I know it's been around. Let's see. They pay a 4.2% dividend. They started paying a dividend this year. If you're thinking about dividend investing, I would definitely not do UWMC. That's because there's not a long history of dividend payments. If you're trying to build an income generating portfolio, I would definitely look for tickers that are stocks that have really had a long period. You only got 2 payments, so there's really no future dates. After this payment in July, you don't really know when they're going to announce that next payment. So I definitely stay away if you're using it to buy a dividend. Like for example, like if you take a look at QYLD, has the whole dividend schedule listed out. So for the most part, you're going to know the payment you'll be getting per month, or what date is the record date, as well as the payment dates. And this makes me feel a lot more confident that you can see that, all right, the next 6 months, I will be getting a dividend payment, versus UWMC, which is, all right, you're assuming that it's going to pay you 10 cents per share, but it's not a guarantee. Another good dividend stock that is not as high up there, but it's going to be Exxon Mobil. Exxon Mobil pays about 5.2% or 5.52. And they have a long history of paying a solid dividend. Even during the pandemic, they still kept their dividend of 87 cents per share per quarter, which totaled to $3.48. I bought a lot of shares in the middle of the pandemic, around $35. ExxonMobil has since jumped up to almost 65. So I'm still getting a really, really good dividend. I'm not getting, my yield isn't 5.52%. My cost, my dividend for my cost is going to be 10% because I paid $35 per share, and I am getting almost $3.50 per share per year. So unimportant Jesus, do you mean QILD or Psec or Exxon Mobil? Which dividend stock are you thinking about getting into? Exxon Mobil. Okay. Definitely, it might be a little late if you're jumping on Exxon Mobil now. Let me see. Let's chart it out right here. It might be a little late. So let's see. So this is Exxon Mobil in the last couple of months. There's one level of support over there. There looks to be a second level of support. And then it's basically trading above 58, but below 65 for most of the time. It's been trading in this range right here the last 2 months. But I think it is pretty expensive. If you're looking for both growth and a dividend stock, I think ExxonMobil might be on the fence since it's already climbed so much. Let's see, what's at all-time highs? Yeah, dividends are pretty good, especially since that you're not taxed as much on dividends as you are on trades. And if you roll your dividends over, you can just continuously grow your portfolio. It's not as flashy. You're not going to be making big gains, but dividends definitely play a big role in my investing strategy. I have probably, I would say, a third of my money or half of my money in a dividend-oriented portfolio. And all that money comes from my side hustle, and I just dump it into dividend investing so that the money has a very rare chance of actually depreciating or losing those funds. And then another thing to note is for dividends, if you're not currently working, you don't have to pay taxes. If you have no income and your only source of income is dividends, you don't have to pay taxes. I think on the first either 40,000 or certain number of dollars in dividends. Let's look this up. Taxes on dividends. Let's see. Yeah, so if you make under 40,000, you pay a 0% capital gains rate. That means you wouldn't be paying any tax for your dividends if you make under 40,000, right? So say you decide you want to take a year off, you put all your money in dividend stocks, you get paid 39,000. that is completely tax-free. Is it better to trade using my Roth IRA? So your Roth IRA is going to be tax-free, but the drawback is that you can't take your money out without until a certain age. It just depends on how old you are, and if you're trading in your Roth IRA, do you plan on taking that money out anytime soon? If not, then you don't really have to worry about it, and you can definitely use your Roth to build up your retirement savings. For me, I don't use a Roth. I probably should. I put all my money, most of my money, either it's in 401k or actually normal investment account. Okay, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? Are you like over 30 or under 30? Because if you're over 30 and you're not necessarily looking to spend that money anytime soon, a Roth is better. But if you're not sure when you want to retire and you have a big trading account, I would definitely think about it. 45, yeah. Well, since you won't be buying a house, you can't pull money out of your 401k. And I guess if you're already 45, you might have your house, you might have a lot of stuff set up, then definitely you can use the Roth to avoid taxes. That a Roth is a pretty good idea if you can find a brokerage that offers, a really comprehensive Roth IRA. That's definitely the way to go. Just make sure, they have both stocks, options available, and whatever else you need. Yeah, no worries, man. I definitely suggest I always tell everybody to make sure to put in money to the 401k, especially if your company is doing a match. You want to put at least the maximum amount of money that your company matches or is willing to match per year. If your company will match the first 5,000, try to put the 5,000 in, because that money is automatically doubled at the end of the year. You put 5,000, the company matches that, you automatically get or end up with $10,000 in that 401k. Now, anything above that 5,000 is up to you, but at least try to do the bare minimum to capitalize on a company's 401k match program. All right. Anybody else with any questions? Or if not, you guys can always find me on Discord. In my other videos, there's a link to a really cool Discord that I'm in with a bunch of really great guys. Feel free to click on that invite link and hop on in and get to know the rest of us. I do a lot of stock research, not necessarily a bunch of plays, but a lot of research. And if you're interested in, learning about charting, kind of understanding different ways you can profit besides just straight buying and selling, that's always another thing I can, mentor you on or give you a clear explanation. Okay, I'm sorry, Matthew. I forgot about your question about UPS. Why have they been a big talking point? The UPS is a big talking point? I didn't really catch that one, but UPS stock is, I don't even know what I'm looking at here. The UPS stock has a bottom right here. And then it looks like on the 15-minute has a very narrow top right there. But then you can also draw right there. So that's narrowing. If it breaks this, or if it breaks this, it definitely is going to fill the gap. So yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's a $7, $7 gap. So I mean, it's not anything crazy, but definitely I could see that happening. They've been hovering around this 208 mark for a little bit, and then this looks like consolidation. It's narrowing. So yeah, I could definitely see that. You might need a little bit more time. RSI looks good. So yeah, it's not a bad idea. Someone's drinking hot water downstairs. Bro, why are you sick? What happened? You close the stream. I'll definitely try to stream a couple times a week. So if any of you guys want to hop on in, ask questions, have me chart something out, please feel free to do so. I hope some of my charts can help you make some money. In Discord, a couple of the guys use my charts, and some of them occasionally hit the lotto jackpot. But I do not advise gambling in that sense. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys a little later. Or if you have any questions, you can always message me on Discord if you're in the Discord, or comment on any of the past videos, and I'll get back to you as soon as I see them. All right, guys, have a great night.